Hi friends, my name is Raphael and today I wanted to make a video about like self-love. And this is by request of a friend of mine, and she's from Denmark, and we met on League of Legends, so that's a fun fact. So um, shit's all over the place. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be doing my makeup and talking. First I'm gonna think about what it is that I am gonna be creating. So first of all, I'm gonna grab something to hold my hair back, which could be clips, but I don't feel like it. Okay, it's gonna be clips. I hope everybody's doing okay. How are you? Please let me know in the comments how you're doing. If you have anything on your mind or anything venting. No promises, but I'll try to be in the comments and maybe we can have a little conversation. You can always hit me up on Instagram as well. Oh, what do you think of my little banana earrings? Not just kidding, it's moons. And hematite, or don't know what the English word is for it. Kind of seeing that we're going to be talking about self-love, which is, by the way, a subject that I don't really think about too often because it's like something that I'm like, well, I mean, I am thinking about it, but it's something that I'm still figuring out by myself, like every single day. Because I have some days that I'm up, and then some days that I'm down. Though I'm gonna be doing red. I'm feeling red. Um, and this is makeup from Shein, which I'm not too happy about because I'm not the biggest fan of Shein. But the stuff that I do have, I am grateful for. So yeah. I mean, we're all on a big journey of self-discovery, and with self-discovery comes self-love or self-hatred. And I guess for me, a large part of my life, my self-discovery has turned into self-hatred instead of self-love. And that's okay, because that's just like part of my journey, I guess. Um, but since I've like gotten to know myself like actually like better and better, like um, mentally, and after going to therapy for a lot of years, um, I don't know. I do think I'm getting somewhere, and like for me, a big part of like my like self the appreciation has come from um like my mentality and stuff. And it's like it was born back when I was still on still in like preschool, like middle school, elementary school, whatever word you use. um in the Netherlands we call it the basisschool. It's like no idea. So far this is like going some direction, but it's all about self-love, so if this turns out really ugly, I'm okay with that. So it all basically started in elementary school, where I had like this certain attitude towards people and myself, which I wasn't a fan of, and I was like starting to figure out that I was queer, and like I didn't have any like, of course, especially at like that age, like you don't think there are any other kids like you, so you're just confused, and um, I was like, I don't know, like all these boys were wearing certain clothing, and I was like, I don't like that. I feel ugly and stupid when I wear this clothing. So, no hate to the clothing. This was just my personal preference. Um, so, basically, I started hating myself. Let's keep it at that. I really started hating every aspect about me. I started hating the way I treated people, the way I acted, and the way that my body worked, and the way that. And how, oh, when I started sweating because of like puberty and people sweat, oh, I felt disgusted. I felt disgusted. I was like, ugh. Every single time someone would like make any like point to like bodily fluids coming out of my body, I would be like, can you see it? Like it was really bad, and I really hated it. And I don't know. So I don't know. That's where it like kind of started, and then at the end of like elementary school, I was so excited to go to high school because finally a fresh start, you know? I was like, okay. So guess what I did? I left all the people that I knew, I left them all behind me. Like I said goodbye with the attitude of I'm never gonna see any of these people again. And that's sad. But it was the attitude that I had at the time and I thought it would help, and it was more like I really disliked myself and I really like wanted to change myself, and being in contact with the people that were still with me at that time, like this really made me feel um like I might get stuck in that area. And I mean, I do think part of that like has helped me because I was able to shift to this other perspective. But the thing is, I really started drifting away from who I genuinely was, who I authentically was. So instead of accepting who I was, I started pushing away the person that I was, and I started idealizing a person that I could be, and kind of shaping myself to be this person. And funnily enough, it like I was really good at it, which is like kind of fucked up, um, because I did turn around my perspectives. I started like really trying to help people and love people and really try to be a good friend to people instead of like, because I used to be pretty mean to people and like kind of a little arrogant and a little stupid about stuff. And I honestly think that this is very exaggerated in my head because I'm pretty sure I've always been a very nice kid, but there are just certain memories in my head that like just traumatized me in a sense. Like I traumatized myself, like the way I treated people and the way that I acted with certain people, like it really traumatized me in the way that I thought about myself. And I really didn't want to be that person anymore because I had hurt people. So basically, I hated myself, I wanted to change myself, and then I went to high school. And in high school, I met these people, and there was this one girl, and like, it was all fun and games, and she seemed really nice, and I started becoming like her, like back in preschool, I was like, in elementary school, I was like this very outgoing and very extravagant um, kid. But then when I came into high school, I started becoming really shy with myself and others. And mind you, I did have rainbow hair, so I was dyeing my hair. So it wasn't that I was like, ooh, I'm so shy, I'm reserved, I'm gonna like be in the back zone. But I did want to be in the back zone, but then I did have rainbow hair, so it was like very, it was not complimentary at all. I was like, oh, do not look at me, do not be in my area. But then I was like, okay, so I'm gonna dye my hair rainbow today. um, yeah, okay, so basically, um, then I came into high school, and I had this friend, and um, let's call her Francesca. That's her name from now on. And she was also queer. And the way I found out was very funny to me because I basically I texted her very nervously, and because I found out I was gay, or at least that I like men. So I texted her and I was like, "Yo, I don't like girls," and then she said, "I do," and I was like, "What the fuck?" So it was just like this big ordeal of like her being a lesbian and then me being like gay, and it was funny. So then, I don't know, she was very sad about the fact that she was queer and she felt very insecure about it. Um, and she was very depressed, and she really hated the person that she was as well. And because I knew those feelings and because I really wanted to help her and lift her up, I was really sad for her. So like, I would always listen to her and I would give her advice and tell her that it's gonna be okay and please love yourself and know how special you are. And I would hang out with her every single day and we were best friends and blah 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 blah. And then one day, I don't know, um, I started meeting some other people, but then I guess she started getting a little jealous or something like that. But then the very important part in this is that basically her being so depressed triggered something in me, like something in my family line, like something triggered in me that made me start being a little more dark. And like this is very small, minor, but at the time I thought it was nothing. But by now, like now that I'm here, I know that it's a lot more than nothing. Like I I changed my background on my laptop to like this very like haunted house vibe, because I was feeling like dark vibes. I was like, let's just do that. When before I would always just be like, yes, the rainbow unicorns, give me gay, give me all that. And this time I was like, I'm gonna do haunted house scary vibes. And I mean, it was almost Halloween. Then Francesca was like, wow, that's kind of depressing. And I looked at it and I was like, and I'm sure there was some part of me in me that as well, that like, especially for my home situation, that I felt like almost this need to like cry for help, if that makes sense. So seeing the way that I was supporting her in her way of feeling depressed, kind of like started believing that it would be the best way for me to start feeling loved at home as well. So um and that's something that I like don't like admitting, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, like, but um so yeah, that was very realistic. But then um I started getting more depressed and more sad, and at first like it was never a conscious thing that I was like, ah, maybe I'll get love. It was more like it just kind of gradually happened. Like I was more and more neglected, and then I started getting more and more sad, and then I don't know. It was just all spiral and things I started figuring out like later on, because this was all like back when I was like 12, I think, um, or 11. But basically, I started going to therapy and talking about some stuff, and it was like pretty soon it was already kind of okay, and never like with me no, but then like with therapy, I was like, I don't know if I like this. Um, but then basically, then Francesca, like, she um she, I don't know, she started just like talking about me behind my back, and like literally sharing my secrets with other people, like very like, and I'm not, I'm an open book. Like, look at me on camera right now. I'm like, yes, people, world, everybody that wants to see, hear my life. But these were things that I wanted to keep secret, like my secrets. Like, that's not like a small deal in my opinion. Like these were things I did not want people to know, and I don't have many of those, but this was like one of those things. And she started sharing it with my entire class. Like, my entire class knew. And then this other friend that I had, like, he told me, and he was like, hey, like, you know that that she is doing this behind your back, right? And I was like, no, I do not. I did not know that. And then I don't know, after this person telling me, I was like, okay, settled. We're no longer friends. And then I just sent her a very I was like, bah. Like, just very, I sent her one very nasty, very short text. Like, it was very one line. It's like, never gonna talk to you again. And then I blocked her on everything, and I indeed never talked to her again. I have never, maybe one word. Maybe I've said hi to her a couple years later, but I've never said anything to her anymore. But yeah, so basically, then the new friend that she had, they started bullying me basically for the fact that I was depressed. So then I was like, okay, I'm done with this class. Like, then I said, okay, I'm never gonna talk to any of these people again, and I did not. I did not speak to any of them again. And I'm sure a lot of people from that class like kind of hated me for not talking to them anymore. But for anybody seeing this that was in my class, that was the reason why. It was Francesca. That's her name. We know her now. Okay, but okay. So then, because this is all just like backstory, and I'm gonna continue on with my backstory. So I started figuring out that I was transgender, and then I started really disliking my body, and then because the in preschool I didn't like myself, and then in the first grade I was like kind of kicked out by other people. And also before that, I had this crush, and he did not like me, and he was a lot older. He was 15, and I was 12, and I I don't know. Like, that's like basically when I found out that I was gay, or at least that I like men, because by now I know more about my identity, and I know I'm not just gay. But okay, so that's so then I started thinking, okay, am I maybe transgender? And I had this boyfriend, and that was messy, and it was okay, and it was cute, but it was messy. And uh, so I started disliking my body as well, and then um, I told my parents, and they really didn't like the fact that I thought I was transgender. And then I was very firm on the idea of wanting to get hormones and wanting to go to this stuff. And then I was like, okay. And mind you, I was more and more depressed. Like I just felt more and more shitty over time. And like by now it wasn't even just like a little like gonna change my background. Like now it was really like I'm really starting to like have a really hard time with even living and waking up every single day. Like I'm having a really rough time right now. Okay, I told my parents, um, and they didn't like it. And they did like they were very much okay with the fact that I was gay. Like they had figured that one out when I was like 3 years old, and like at first my mom also had a little bit of a hard time with it. She was like, "Ah, what if he's a homosexual?" And then props to this woman, like the mother of my half sister was like why the fuck would it matter? like what the fuck would it matter? My mom was like, oh true. So props, thank you, Cleo is her name. So okay, I figured I was trans and they didn't like it. Okay, so they sent me to therapy again, but not to like transgender specific therapy. They were like, let's first just send you to normal therapy and see what they have to say. They told me that, and then I was like, okay, whatever. And then I made it very obvious to her that I was like, I hate my legs, I hate the way that I walk, I hate my voice, I hate my hair, I hate my body, I want to have boobs, I want to be seen as a woman, I hate the way that I'm viewed, I hate the way that people see me. Because it was also like once I started going into transition, it wasn't that I was a woman. Because no, of course, fucking society doesn't work like that, and these assholes, like all I am is transgender. I'm just transgender. I'm not a woman. I'm just if I am a woman, I'm a trans woman. I have no right to be an actual woman, and why not? Because I wasn't born as one, and like this shit just like really riled me up. Especially well, still because I still think that's fucking bullshit, and it really makes me sad. Um, but that's information for another video. Because trans issues is really something I want to focus on more because that's something that this world really needs to develop in because I don't know. Very uneducated. Yeah, okay. To continue on my life path, life journey, if you will. I like okay. So then she was like, okay, well he wants to go to well at that time for sure it was she. So she wanted to go to she needs to go to VUMC, which is like the hospital in the Netherlands where they do serve like where they do have like a gender policy like gender specific whatever. So that they could actually work with people that were educated in this and people that had access to medication for me to use if I were actually in order to go into transition. So I went there and I was like, yes, yes. I was so excited. I was like, okay, let's go. I love this. And by that time, my parents were okay with it, and of course they were especially mad about me wanting to change my name. And surprise, surprise, bitch changed her name like changed their name back again, because Raphael used to be my name, and then I had changed my name to Lizzie, and they hated that, and now I'm back to Raphael. But this time it was because I wanted to. I'm just doing something with my makeup. I don't know. I'm just talking and I'm doing makeup. It's fine. I'm not creating anything beautiful. We'll see. Um, so far it looks okay. um, okay, so I went to FUMC and then we were there and blah blah blah, love whatever, and it was all good. But then my therapist there was like, I think they also need like normal therapy because they are not okay. They are very sad. So this is going to continue going, but they need normal therapy because this bitch is talking about suicide a bit too often. I went to normal therapy, and with my like gender specific therapy, eventually like I started getting hormone blockers, but I started getting more and more depressed and blah 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 and more depression, and with my normal therapist, like I had told her that I had suicidal thoughts, and then she was like, okay, well this is getting a bit too intense for me, so I'm gonna have to tell your parents. And I was like, as if they don't know, first of all. So, okay, I was angry, but it's fine. So she invited my parents, and then they, of course, because there's no need, like, why would you call the parents? Like, I'm sure there's so many opportunities where it is helpful for the child to, like, call in a guardian, like, um, to help them out. But in most cases, it's like they're in therapy for a reason. Their mothers and dads don't want to listen, or they can't help, but they do not want to hear it. Like, so, um, I was like, sure, just invite my parents if you want to have a fucking screaming session. Like, do it. So, okay, I was sad, and then she had a really hard time with her child, of course, like being suicidal, like, which is very understandable. Um, but because of the situation, she would also really like pull me, like I would be sad, and then she would start crying, and then I would have to be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I feel this way and that I made you feel this way. Like, I'm sorry for you that the way that I feel in my life and in my soul, that made you feel that way. I mean, that's fine or whatever. But this was very painful for me because I did not feel hurt at all. I was like, you did not hear me. So yeah. But now this is like therapy for me, okay? So yeah, okay. So I was depressed and I was sad, and then this was even worse. So then my therapist was like, "Okay, you are too much for me. I cannot handle you. You need to go to another therapist." Like, so even she was like, "Okay, I'm going to leave you." And in this time, at the same time, I also had other friends that were like, I had this boyfriend, and he was super insecure about his sexuality, and then like I don't know, like I kind of started, I was kind of done with him, and then he was really hurt about that, and then he started like just started growing apart, and I did start making actual friends that really did want to support me at this time, like wanted to be there for me and actually could be there for me. So I'm very grateful for that, and shout out to Lola and Ivana. Love to these people. I don't know. It still stays a mess because mental issues, but it's fine or whatever. Um, I'm gonna get rid of this pimple because it's bothering me. To continue, I was sent to a new therapist, and then I actually started to get somebody that could help me. And this was also because I also had this group of um, that I was sent to by my like the therapist from my. It's all very confusing. I'm sorry. The therapist from my gender specific therapies. She had sent me to this location to meet other transgender kids or trans individuals, and like basically at the same time I was like, I don't know, because I also didn't know if I was transgender. Like, this was also like something that I was struggling with. I was like, but am I? Because I would especially like hear these other kids, and then I started also becoming more insecure in my feminine identity, and if anything, I started missing like the masculine side of things, but I hated the masculine side of things. So I was like so confused. I was like, what is this? Like, what am I? Like, am I transgender or am I this? Like, I was thinking very black and white. I was like, what am I? Am I a man or a woman? But and then I started going to the group, and that has been very nice, and I actually met some really cool people there. And funnily enough, there were two people there from my school, and then one girl there that was friends with Lola. So there were, and this was not in the city I live in. Like, this is like far away. Like, this was like an hour drive, and there were three people like in my close. Like, that was so weird and funny. The way that the universe works is very nice. I love the universe. Um, Even though it can sometimes be very difficult. I mean, that's all part of the journey and the lessons that we learn. But so yeah. Um, so then I started going to an actual therapist at that location. But of course, this woman was pregnant, so I could like speak with her for a little while, and I loved her so much. She was the best therapist so far, and like I don't know, she was really, really cool and really sweet, and she was the first one that actually made me feel heard. You know, she was actually like, hearing me out and having sympathy for me, like actual light worker energy. Like she was love and she was light and she was nice and good. But then she was pregnant, and then I got a man. Then my next therapist was a man, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know if I'm prepared for this. But that was actually, he turned out to be my greatest therapist so far. Like, he was the therapist that has actually, like, gotten me out of where I was. Because it turned out that basically where I was at that stage of life is that I was developing borderline personality disorder. So, like the way that I was, like my life was going, and the way that I was neglected by my parents, and the way that people were leaving me all over the place, and I was just constantly like left by myself, and I had boyfriends, and then they would like, and these were way older than me, and they would like be like, and then no, and then and then no, and then I would just feel so left, and I would just get more and more sad, and it was just a downward spiral constantly, and I was young, so I was like, I was developing borderline personality disorder. Like this bitch was getting fucked up. Um, but then this man was like, I think you might have borderline, and I was like, I think so too. And then I never got a diagnosis. But this was by like on purpose, because he was like if you get a diagnosis, it's very serious. Like it stays on your thing for like the rest of your life. Like there's no way of getting rid of it or anything. Like once you have it, you have it. So especially because I was younger than 18, he was like, I'm not gonna give you any diagnosis yet, but I really wanted the diagnosis because I was like, I need to know what is wrong with me, what's in my head. And then he was like, if you were 18, I would give you the one for borderline personality disorder, but seeing that you're not, you're okay. And then this bitch grew out of it. I still have like some symptoms, of course. Like there's still some things I need to work on, but I used to have like all the symptoms like hardcore. Like I was like, yes, this is my life. And now I'm like here, and I'm like, I would actually say I would say I'm anxious, and then like, yeah, mostly anxiety. Like not even really depressed anymore, and I'm really grateful for that. So that's really cool. Like it really worked my ass off. So I started going to this new therapist, and then I started being more questioning about my own gender identity again, and I was like, but am I really female, and do I really feel like this, or is there like, or am I still like, do I think I'm a male? And then I like cut off my hair, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm going to do this again. And then I did keep the name Lizzie. I was like, fuck the name Raphael. I was like, not gonna do that. Um, but I did want to like cut my hair off again and experimenting more with my like masculine features, because I was like, I felt handsome, and I knew that people were more interested in me if I were to like present myself as a masculine figure. Um, so this was just the way that I was dealing with it. I was like, okay, I guess that sounds good. I'm gonna go back to being masculine more often. And then I don't know, that was also weird, and yeah, well, especially like when I had the therapist, like the male therapist, like he, I don't know, like he really helped me. But at this time, I was really depressed. Like I was not okay. Like cause then I also got my first boyfriend, and then that boyfriend like really hurt me, and him leaving me is what really triggered my depression. Like he really and this is not his fault. This is like the way that it was just supposed to happen. Like this is not his fault. Like he couldn't have done anything about this. But like it still sucked, and I felt really sad about him leaving me. And I like this was also like when I had gone on a suicide mission, and like I'm gonna put a big trigger warning because there's loads of subjects that could be very triggering. So please, if you are not okay, please message me and tell me that you will be okay, or that you need some help, and I will give you some love or good vibrations, or I will light a candle for you. I do not know. I want to do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put this in the corner of my eye. Is that interesting? I think it is. So okay, I was like, I am going to die now, and then because my phone was stolen, and my parents were once again screaming at me, and I had this thing where um, the more neglected I felt, the more depressed I would get. So yeah, um, okay, I'm collecting myself. and then I wanted to kill myself, and then I didn't because um, this guy had told me that he was like, "Are you weak?" And I was like, "No." And then he said, "Then don't kill me. Then don't kill yourself." I was like, "Fuck you and that opinion because that's fucking bullshit." Like, if anything, I think depressed people are like the strongest people alive because these are like to make it out of depression. Like that takes some like not even warrior shit. That takes some god shit. Like you really like that shit's hard, my dude, because it's just a downward spiral that you like. And if you are being pulled down by a brick and you've been pulled down by a brick for so long, like it's so hard to even grasp the idea of there being an above, because like it's like it's actually, like I said, it's a miracle. Like people that deal with depression and make it out alive, like these are miracles. Like these are very strong people. um and I'm not one of them. But yeah, no. So I got home. I was still depressed. I was sad, and then I told my mom, and she was like, "Go to therapy." And I was like, "Fuck you." Like that was for me like a breaking point. I was like, okay, well, my parents are useless when it comes to love, so I'm going to um start doing it myself. I guess like loving. I was like, okay, well, I guess I cannot get this from others. So I'll do it myself. I guess I'll start loving myself. Um, so I started trying to be more honest with myself, and I started like expressing myself more, um, like in my gender identity, but also just like with colors. And I started like being more affirming, and I went to therapy, and I was very honest with my therapist, and I have this very good friend Lola who has helped me like tremendously like throughout my journey. Like she has been like one of the few sources of love that I've had, like especially at that time, because by now I'm like luckily thank the Lord, I've gotten more sources of love and more sources for people to actually like feel like I'm okay and feel like I belong. And um but at that time there were not that many people. Like I had Lola and Ivana, and I think that was it. I don't know, just so many heartbreaking events, my dude, like so many heartbreaking events. um but yeah, so um then I started being more loving and honest with myself, and I started figuring out that it's okay to not be female nor male, and that you can also be somewhere in between and just accept my identity. Like, okay, so basically that's like my story of like where the self-hatred. 41 minutes in. Self-hatred. Okay, so that's the first part. And then we have self-love. So let's figure this one out, because I really need to figure this one out myself. Since I'm gonna get really close because my back is hurting. Okay, so self-love started happening to me when I was done with school, because um, when I was still in school, I couldn't, like, it was, my depression was so bad, I did not even go to school. I could not. I woke up in the morning and I was so, honestly, yeah, once again, depressed that I, like, had even woken up. I was like, this bullshit again. Like, I thought I was dead. Like, and I just, like, I was annoyed every morning to, like, that I was like, oh, I'm conscious. It's not funny. It's really sad, but it's a little funny to me, and it's okay. So, basically, what, like, my self-love, like, where that comes from, where that stems from, is basically through therapy and through my self-discovery and learning who I am, and learning especially what it's like to feel so down there, like so sad and so depressed, and um, just so down in the depth, like learning what that's like. And then when I started taking antidepressants, because that's a big part of like what helped, like eventually, um, like when I started grasping the feeling of being more okay, um, I really like obviously tried to long for the feeling of being okay above anything else. And luckily with the antidepressants, it was like like I never really felt like on top of the world, but I also never really like felt like depressed again. So it was just basically like just me being very neutral and very gray in most areas. But because I was normally very like down there, being gray was already like a big difference for me. Because I genuinely like I have had moments where I was like I don't even remember what it's like to feel happy. Like I don't know what that's like. Um, so then people could tell me, and I would see it, and I was like, I'd be like, okay, good, but I cannot relate. Like I cannot relate to your happiness. Um, throughout therapy and through the methods that I'd learned, and like basically just holding on to things that make me feel good and things that do feel like they are with me, and um like with self-love comes love of others. So when you um start feeling more love for another person, you'll start feeling more love for yourself as well. Like this is something I've really noticed is once you start accepting others for who they are, you'll start learning more that you are okay for who you are as well. And like spirituality has also really helped me because it's like so much guidance and so much beauty. And like for anybody interested in spirituality, I would really like recommend getting into it, honestly. But um like I don't know, just like seeing that other people are beautiful made me see that it's also possible for me to be seen as beautiful and to be a beautiful person for myself, and for wanting to be happy with myself. And just the wanting is also very important. Like you want to want. So um like okay, so you want to be happy, but what is it that you want that could maybe make you happy? And if you don't know that, then try to feel like what is something that I like. So and then don't be like very specific, like I like drawing this. Like just be like, do you feel intrigued by drawing? Okay, then start drawing maybe. Like and then don't be obsessive about like it looking nice. Like let it just be an ugly drawing for now. Just let it be bad. Like bad art is better than no art. This is like a statement from TikTok that has really stick with me. Bad art is better than no art, and this is something I'm still learning to this day because I don't know, we're creating here and there. And right now I'm doing makeup. Like just follow your intrigues. So if you're like I do think I like makeup, just like start doing makeup. And like with self-love, like just really try to focus on the things that make you feel good. So instead of like because when you're depressed, it's really easy for you to focus on the things that are bad about you and are sad about your life and sad about you, and then before anybody is like then it's true, just like stop being sad. Like that's not how this works. Like you are stuck in this spiral. You do not know what makes you feel good anymore. But then really try to see what is it that does make you feel something, and a little, even if it's just distracted. Like if you just focus on the art and try to see your development in it before, like for example, like I don't know, like I've always very like loved music, and I love music and I love singing, but I've always been like I don't like my voice that much. Like when I sing, I don't really like my voice that much. But then I'm like, but what does it matter? If I like singing and it makes me happy, I should start singing and just be happy with it. I should just be happy with the fact that I'm singing. So instead of being focused on the fact that I think it's like ugly singing, try to be like, but I am singing. Self love is just something that I'm really like still learning myself, and I'm trying to grasp myself what it really means. Because I was done talking about like all the bad things from my past, and then I was like, okay, so now it's time to start talking about self-love, and I'm just like, but what do I really know about self-love? And I'm like, I do know. That's cute. I, I'm like, I do know what self-love is, especially more and more every day. But it's hard even now, still now, to just love myself and just be happy with the person I am. But it's really about focusing on what is it that makes you you and what makes you unique, and what are things that you are proud about yourself. And it's also really about getting over the ego, because the ego, for some reason, which is very sad, like the ego very much likes to just glorify yourself to the point where you deny the things that you like about yourself. Because there's this thing, at least in the Netherlands, I think this is all over the place, where it's like, so egocentric, you're so filled with yourself, your self-love is like, bleh. Like, this is just like, for what I've learned by now, this is just like people projecting their own insecurities onto others, because someone else doesn't love themselves, nobody else can, you know? Like, just like I talked about with like the homophobia, if like, if I can't, then you can't either. So um and that's something that was really ingrained in my head and still is, where I'm like, where I don't allow myself to just be proud and be full of myself and just be happy with the person that I am, be proud of the things that I can create, and just exist with myself and just be happy with what I'm making, and just be great and be good. And I don't know, just find the things that you like about yourself, and if there are things that you like about others, instead of like trying to convince yourself that you need to have that too, just be like, I like that you do that, and let that be it. I like that you do that. And then just leave it be. Just let it exist that way. And just, besides that, like, let their thing be their thing, and let your thing be your thing. And if someone else has something that is quote unquote better than yours, just be like, no, nobody's better than anybody. Because this is also a very important lesson that I've learned, is that, like, a lot of people think that humans work in like a ranking system, where it's like level 1, and you go level 2 and 3 and 4, like popularity. But that's not how this works, unless you let it work that way. Like, because we also have like we think that we know a reality, but this reality is relative. So your reality is not the reality. This is your reality. So what you believe reality to be is what you believe reality to be. This is not my reality. This is not Francesca's reality. This is not anybody's like reality. This is your reality. And if you don't like your reality, and if you don't like something in your reality, then try to shift that motion. Try to be like, okay, so if you don't like the fact that your dad bakes cookies, super stupid, because you're like, it's the reality, it's just shitty to bake cookies, then just be like, but why is it shitty to bake cookies? He's making cookies, he's making something nice, he's cooking something up. And then you are kind of changing the perspective of these cookies. You're like, oh, but these cookies are delicious, and my dad is making them, so he's being creative, and he's doing something, and he's putting action into his wants and his motions and his needs. Just try to appreciate what you are and what you have, and just try to be with the person that you are, and just try your best to to stop comparing, and to just let it be. Because the thing is also, this is something very important, nobody experiences you the way that you do. So the way that I experience me, and I see myself every single day, and that's something very important. We see ourselves every single day, so it's really hard. So it's kind of like, for example, you have this boyfriend, okay, and you really like this boyfriend, and then you have this boyfriend for quite some time, and then you're like mad at this boyfriend, and you're like stupid to this boyfriend, and his boyfriend this and his boyfriend that, but you forget, why did you like him? What is it that you liked about him? Oh, okay, you like the fact that he dresses nicely, and you like the fact that he works with you, and you like the fact that he like he like the fact that he looks at you and that he listens to you and that he is creative and all those things. So try to focus on those things again. Like, what do you like about this person? But then instead of letting it be a boyfriend, let it be yourself now. Like look at yourself. What is it that I like about myself? And then you're like, okay, like I'll do it right now to myself to show that it's possible. I like my hair. I think I have pretty hair, and right now it's a mess, but I like my hair. It's like it's curly and I have like golden tones in it. I like my chest. I like my earrings. I like my eyebrows. I like my hair. I like how my eyebrows are like a little crooked, but like they have their character, but they are like I like them. I like my smile. I like the way that my teeth work. I like my creativity. I like that I'm working hard for myself. I like see, it's already like making me feel better. Like just tell yourself like what is it that you like about yourself and really try to fight through that ego. Just grab a knife and just be like ha chaka like because there's so many parts in you that's gonna be like, no, you can't say that about yourself. That's like egocentric. Like fuck that. Let's be egocentric. Let's do that shit. Let's be obsessed with ourselves because we need to remember that when someone doesn't like something about you, this is because this is something in them that they have not accepted yet. So if us loving ourselves makes someone else mad, that's because they hate themselves, and that's really sad. But that's sad for them. We're sorry for them, and we hope the best for them. We wrap it in love, and we wrap it in light, but we send it back to them. It's not ours to keep. We are with ourselves, and if someone else doesn't like that, then they can have their own reality where they don't like it. But let's focus on ourselves. Let's focus on our reality because we want to be happy. We want to feel good, and we want to be good with ourselves. What we want comes first, and if someone else stands in the way of this, either move them aside or roll right over them because this nobody deserves our happiness. No one deserves to stand in the way of our happiness. Like even if me saying these things stands in the way of your happiness, just shut this video off and fucking block my account and never see me again, and that's okay because that's my issue and not yours. Like really focus on what it is that you want, sister, because you are the main character. You are the main character. I am my main character of my TV show, but you are your main character of your TV show. And if someone's sitting right beside you, you, sister, the person sitting beside you, is the main character of their TV show. And if you feel like they are the side character, whatever, leave that be, but know that they have the right to stand in their power and be their main character. Because you are not the main show, and they are not the main show. I am not the main show. We're all our main shows by ourselves. We have our own shows. And we are perfect in the way that we are. And if I don't like my show, how will I like my show? So if I see my show and I see the color red and I'm like, I don't like the color red, what color would I like? I would like purple. Okay, then let's do purple. Let's do a purple show and let's just like be happy in that then. Because just be happy with who you are. And if there are aspects of yourself that you don't like, first try to accept them. And if this is something that really affects your day-to-day life and really makes you feel bad about the person that you are, then maybe try to see if it's possible to shift it into something that does make you feel more positive and does make you feel more happy. Editing Raphael here. One more information that I had to share is if there is a certain aspect about yourself that you don't really seem to like too much, let there be, like, try to focus then on a different point, like a different aspect of your show that you do feel proud of. So instead of letting your focus be focused on the thing that you dislike, focus on the thing that you do like. So for example, I don't like the poop in the background, but I do really like the cat in the foreground. Okay, focus on the cat that you do like. I really like that cat. Wow, that cat's so cute. Because if it's something about, like, for example, if this is something you can't change, really try your best to, like, to accept this. Because, I don't know, we work things into our shadow throughout our lives. Like, we nitpick and everybody in their lives, like for example, like your parents and your teachers, like everybody tells you this is good and this is bad, this is good, this is bad, so you're like, okay, this is good and this is bad, this is good, this is bad, when this is all just aspects of your one being. It's just your source. But then throughout your life you're like, okay, this belongs there and this belongs there and this belongs there and this belongs there, and then eventually you just create like a light and a shadow and a source consciousness. Like you have the source and you create this light and this like dark aspect. But this dark does not leave. It's not like you're like, I don't like this, that it leaves. It's like you just put it in the back door. But when the back door gets so full, what happens? It bursts open. It bursts open and it's just all over the place, and then you really need to grab it up again. Like you start acting out. So throughout your life, you nitpick these things, but it's not going to make it better. It's not going to change these aspects about yourself. So like really try to just accept the person that you are. Try to accept even the things that you think are bad about yourself. Try to be like, it's okay. I accept that I have these aspects. For example, like what I said about when I was young, like I accept that I can be mean sometimes. I accept that I can be egocentric sometimes. I accept that I can, I don't know, just I can accept the person that I am. I accept me from who I am, and I accept every person, every I accept every personality trait I have because it's what makes me me. And of course you can be more proud of certain aspects, and you can be like, I know that it could be a little shitty when I do these things, but don't be like, and this is hard. I struggle with this every day because I have like thoughts and I'm like, go away thought, and it's like it like keeps coming to the frontal, and this is because your brain is trying to process it. Your brain is trying to process these things. So when your brain is like, these aspects of you, just like instead of being like, just be like, okay, feel it, and be like, I guess this is just a part of who I am, and that's okay. Just am and just be and just love who you are and love the person that you can be. And no, don't love the person that you can be, love the person that you are and have been. Love and love that you want to work hard for yourself. Be proud of yourself, because if you are watching this video, you want to work harder and you want to get better and you want to love yourself more. You don't want to get better. You want to be better with yourself, and you want to accept yourself, and you want to love yourself, and you are working hard for yourself. And this is good. You are great. You're doing amazing, sweetheart. Like, you being here today is amazing. Like, you are doing great. Like, don't forget this. You are doing amazing. And if you notice that there are certain aspects of yourself that you think are really hard to accept, just leave them be for now, and just try to focus on the things that you really do like about yourself. So it's like when you do have that one motion where you're like, I really, really don't like that aspect of myself, just be like, instead of like pushing it away and fight and like focusing on fighting it, just be like it's a person that you don't like. Like, it's not like you're like, for example, you're in school and there's this one person you really don't like unless you're like really aggressive and this is just what you do, which is lovely. Like, be that bitch. If that's who you are, be that bitch. But like, most people wouldn't just go up to them and be like, I'm going to fucking fight you now and I'm going to kill you and I'm just going to beat you up. No, most people are just going to be like, or try to, and this is what we should do, look around us and see the best friend that we do like, and just focus on the best friend, and don't worry about, like, let it like and don't focus on putting it away. Try to leave it be and just exist and let them be there, and just let it slowly sink away while you're focusing on the one thing that you do like. Period. Like, yeah. Just focus on the things that do make you feel good, and do focus on the things that you do think you're good at. And okay, let's keep it at this. If you find it hard to keep perspective on the things that you do like, and the things that you do are and that you are good at, so like what I'm talking about here is like basically like that you have, like, you're really good at painting, and you're looking at your painting, you're like, this is shit. I think this is really ugly. Like, instead of being like, this is really ugly, maybe this could be maybe something good. Maybe try to look back and like, when you were like a child, like do not compare like to a month ago, because then you might get a little whatever, like a little insecure or something. Because sometimes we do have our moments where we're just less inspired, so it like comes out less good. Like try to go back to when you were a child and think how you drew then, and look at how you are doing now. And just be like, wow, I am better than I was then. And then just be like, okay, burr, burr, period, burr. This is an important thing I'm going to say in this video. Everything that you feel interested in, and do not do like things that are like, that are gonna do any harm to other people, because this is like just like, this is also not gonna make you feel any better. Like loving others is for real really helps with loving yourself as well. Like there's no way of like going around that. Like if you love another, you love yourself. Like because love like works in like an 8, like in an infinity sign. It just goes both ways, and so does hate. So if you hate something, it's gonna come back to you. If you love, you get love back. If you hate, you get hate back. Like you need to make sure that you're sending the right vibrations into the universe, and you will receive the right ones back for you. Like just let the world be love and let the world be light. Don't like, if you're trying new things, like listen to your feelings, like the things that you feel gravitated towards and the things that you feel interested by. So if you're like, I've always been kind of intrigued by claying, but I'm like, but then you're like, I don't know why I'm so intrigued by clay. Like I've never done that before, and I don't know if I'm good at that. Don't listen to the I don't know if I'm good at that like things. Listen to like the fact that you want to try it. So try it out, like, because it might be your new favorite thing, and it's also going to help you see that you're transforming and learning. Because when you're learning, you can be proud of yourself, because you're like, damn, I did that, I learned something, and I made something today. And I like that also really helps with your self-gratitude and you're self-thankful. Like you're like, I'm grateful that I did that today. So another good thing about self-love, like if you're like, it's gonna, oh, this is so hard, and I like, for example, my house is a mess right now, and I know that I should clean my home, but I'm like, oh, but so much effort, I'm so tired, blah 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 blah. Like I can get up and I can clean up a bit, and then I'll be so grateful for myself for the fact that I did that. Like to points where I'm like almost like emotional. I'm like, damn, thank you, Raphael, for doing that. Thank you for cleaning up for me. Like this might be the most important thing. Never forget that you are your best friend as well. Like you are a person in your life as well, and if anything, you are the most important person in your life. Like there should be, and there probably is, but there should be nobody that you adore more than yourself. Like there should be nobody in your life that you feel more gratitude and love towards than yourself. And we know that it's hard to love the person that we are, because we are behind the eyes. We're not like a person feeling for another, we are the person feeling it. So it's really difficult to keep a perspective about like ourselves in that way. So instead of like being like, I feel so sad for myself and I have a hard time like feeling sad for myself, like just be like, put it in a different perspective, and act as if you are like seeing a different person. Act as if you are your best friend, and then try to see how you would act with them. Because this is something very interesting. Because like, if someone would tell me things that I say about myself, that they say those things to themselves, I would be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why would you say that? Like, stop that. Like, you are wonderful, you're gorgeous, like you are a pretty princess, you are a goddess, like a bad bitch. But then like, with myself, I'm like, nah, you deserve it, you are stupid, blah blah blah. Would I say that to a best friend of mine? No, of course not. I wouldn't say to a best friend of mine like, you deserve to feel bad. You deserve to feel like shit. You deserve those thoughts that you have about yourself. Would you say the things that you say to yourself to your best friend? No. So stop saying them to you, bestie, because you are a bestie. You are your best friend as well. Okay? And let's keep love to that feeling, because it's unappreciated how we really are like um a friend of ourselves. We, if anything, we're like, ugh, my lover is the one that wakes up with me every single day and we go to sleep every single day. But who is the one when your partner is gone? And who is the one that like is in your dreams with you? And who is the one doing things with while you are doing them? Like, of course, like your partner could help you cooking, but who is doing your cooking? You are doing your cooking. Like, you are the baddie that you are with all day. Like, you are your bestie. And this is something I really need to put into my own brain as well. And I really want to work with this into my brain and just see myself as my bestie, my best friend, and just be like, like, treat yourself as if you're your best friend, sisters. That's the best. That's the best thing I have for you today, honestly. Just act as if you are your best friend. And besides that, if you really are having a really hard time, going to therapy really like has done wonders for me. And if it's so bad that you cannot like, you don't even know what happiness is, like there's a point of happiness that you haven't reached yet, and therefore it's very hard for you to even feel that emotion because you don't even know what this emotion is like, then maybe consider like medication, but really go to therapy before you do that, because medication is not just some funny business. Like, it really takes control over your serotonin levels. So really try to be careful with that, okay? And also, if there's something that you would love to do, like you've always been like, I want to go to the zoo, but nobody wants to go to the zoo with me. Like, when I do that voice, by the way, like, please do not take it personally. This is just me imitating another person, or imitating myself more. Like, where you're like, oh, yeah, okay. Oh, I want to do something, but I don't want to do this with, like, I don't want to, I want to do this with a person, but nobody wants to go with me. Go by yourself. Go by yourself. Go with yourself to that location. And it might be a little less like fun for you at first, but once you start doing it more often, you're gonna really start enjoying it. Because want to know something fun? There's gonna be nobody to tell you what to do, so you can make your decisions. So if you're like, I want to go to the zoo, and then you go to the zoo, and then you're like, I want to go to the zebras, and then you don't have to ask anybody if you can go to the zebras. You just go to the zebras, sister. No worries. You're just like, I want to go to the zebras. Okay, and you just turn around and you just go to the zebras. It's like someone who constantly agrees with you. Like, wouldn't that be perfect? Wouldn't that be perfect? That's you, sister. And of course, try meditating more, but meditation is kind of hard, especially when you have like ADD or ADHD. Because that's something I have, and I notice that it's really hard for me to not have thoughts because my head is constantly racing. But spirit and myself is teaching me well, so that's good. So we're getting somewhere. And we notice that you have a very negative vibe. This is something. We notice that your vibe is just very shitty and you don't like your vibe. Put on some incense. Like, I've really noticed that does wonders. Like, at times where you think like there's nothing that's gonna make me feel better at this moment, you just light an incense and you just like breathe in a couple times and just relax a little bit. And I really noticed that really helps a lot. Like, it helps a lot. um, so yeah, that's the tea for you. And there's so much more I could share about that. And if you have any questions, please tell me and ask me, because um, I'll definitely have something to say about it, and maybe you could even give me any tips. Like, maybe you could give me some like information about self-love. Um, but do what makes you happy and do what makes you feel good, and don't wait for anybody to do it with you, do it for you. Just do it yourself. And because that's also the best way that you can be proud of it, if you did that yourself. Like, and also teamwork. That's something I'm really bad at. Um, like like teamwork and stuff, like doing things together, and like asking a friend for help and asking a friend for some love, and maybe sending a friend a message sometimes saying, hey, I'm not doing okay. And then they're like, damn, I'm sorry for you. And then you're like, And I know this doesn't work all the time because I know some people can be dismissive. So in those cases, if you think someone is going to be dismissive to you, just try, and if they like turn you down, then be your best friend and do what you wish that they would do for you. And also, this has worked wonders for me. Noticing that you are the person that knows what you need to hear. I'm doing my eyebrows and this is like weird. You are the person that knows what you need to hear. We are constantly waiting for other people to tell us what we want to hear, but nobody knows what we want to hear except for ourselves. So if I really need to know, and you really need to hear, for example, that my makeup is good, I say to myself, I like your makeup. I like your makeup today. You did a good job. If I want to know that I did a good job, if I want to know I did a good job at like the eyeliner, I turn around and I say, you did a good job at the eyeliner today. And you try to feel it. You try to feel it as if you are saying it to to another person that has done it, or as if you are saying it to baby you, like your inner child, like you are saying like to baby you or to a baby or to a best friend, like hey, or someone else saying it to you, I like your makeup today. And then you're like, wow, thank you, queen. And this can go very deep. Like this is very like not deep at all. Like this is like makeup, but like deep hating stuff. If you just tell yourself, I'm sorry nobody was there for you. I am sorry nobody was there for you when you really needed them. I wish I could have been there for you. And I am so happy to see that you were here today. I'm so happy that you're here. Like that type of stuff. Like that type of stuff. Like then say that shit to yourself. And yeah. Because you know what you need to hear. You know what you're feeling. And you know what you think. And you know that you can say things to yourself. Because we are friends. We are connected with ourselves, people. We are not just one thing that's like connected with others. We are multiple beings inside of a thing that's like we have our frontal consciousness and our subconscious and our higher self and so many aspects, like your inner child, so many aspects of yourself, and you can speak to yourself. You are constantly in correlation with yourself, like so much in us that can help us. And therapy does really help. Has really helped me. But the main thing has been that I wanted myself to be happy, and seeing that you are here today means that you do want to be happy. Hold up, I'm just throw up. But most importantly, just allow yourself to be the things that you want to be. So if you want to be confident, allow yourself to be confident. If you want to be happy, allow yourself to be happy. If you want to be good at art, allow yourself to create art and just be bad at it as well. Like don't expect yourself to be good instantly because shit takes time. Like, do you think any person just woke up and just was like, oh, like no, people. I mean, some people are like really talented, but then when they like put their first hand on paper, they just like they try to draw, and then it's like a stick, man. So everybody has to like, and then they turn into the greatest artist, and they never use their voice. People, I don't know, just do your shit, man. Just do what you want to do, and know that you are worth the time and effort, and know that you are worth the the energy and the love and all of it. And if there are people in your life bringing you down, cut those people down, cut those people off, and like continue feeling the people that do make you feel good and do make you feel supported and do make you feel loved. And don't worry about the people that you cut off. They will worry for themselves, just like you worry for yourself. You take care of yourself, so expect others to do the same. Unless someone asks you for help, and if you are a really kind, loving soul, like myself, then you will notice when someone's not okay, and you will make sure that they're okay. Like you'll be okay, sweetheart. You are so good, and you are so loved, and you are so great, and even when you don't see it, someone is thinking about you, and someone is feeling you, and someone wants to hang out with you, but they're too scared to message you, and like most likely the person that you want to hang out with wants to hang out with you too, and but remember you first, okay? Nobody goes in front of you, sister, even if they try to force you into it. No one deserves to be first except for you. We are number one. Hey. The fact that he says we are number one and not I am number one is very fitting, because we are all number one. There's no second or third or fourth or fifth. Maybe in your reality, but in their reality, they should be number one as well. Like, everything is so relative, and that's just the fact of it. Okay, sweethearts. I'm gonna put nail polish on my lips now. No, I'm just kidding. I know that everything is possible. You are the baddest. You are the sickest bitch. You are a baddie. Ugh, and I'm sick. This is kind of nice, right? Okay, besties, this has been the video about self-love, and this is the makeup for anyone who cares. So, a pinkish lip, and I didn't really think about the color coordination, but it's fine, it works, I guess. Okay, self-love. I love it. I look so good. No, okay. We're all in this process, sisters, and just know that everybody has a hard time loving themselves, and even the ones that seem like they are doing the best, that even they are struggling. But know that you can do anything you aspire to be, and if your aspiration is to be happy, know that you can be happy. Okay, so this is the makeup. And this is the dress I chose for today. I did not put any shoes on, because this video is probably also already an hour long. But I love myself. Love yourself. Respect yourself. What does he say again? Love yourself. I would date me. I'm just gonna do a self-love session now. I love this color on me, and the color pink on my lips, and I love this color on me as well, and I love this color on me as well, just not in combination. I mean, I love the combination. I'm such a color coordination queen, and yes, it's the dress I'm wearing. It's a dress I got from a friend of mine, and her name is Ivana. Once again, she gives me loads of things because her love language is gifting. So I'm really grateful. Thank you, Ivana. And thank you, friends, for listening and to my story and listening to my advice and listening to what I had to share. I hope you liked the look, and I hope you learned something great today. I hope you learned something new today, and I hope I teached you anything, and if I did not, that's okay too. Just, then I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you got to laugh, at least for a little bit. So I love you, and take care of yourself, okay? Know you are worth every damn second of abundance and love coming your way. You are amazing, you are love, you are light, you are bright. Say these affirmations with me. I am love. I am supported. I am light. I am greatness. I am... I don't know. I am friendship. I am beautiful. I am gorgeous. I am done now. Goodbye, loves. Mwah.